So I thought today I'd give you a quick seedling update. So I've got some Leela salad onions here ready to go out, just waiting to be interplanted into spinach and lettuce beds and things like that. I've got some Guardsman salad onions again ready to go out, just waiting for their interplants, and new seedlings ready to prick out today actually. So we've got Joy Choy, Tatsoi, colour crunch mix, so that's actually quite a nice little selection. Vibrant Joy, Kaylan and red pak choy. That hasn't germinated very well, but basically it's the same as this, so that's not a problem. And then I've got my lettuces, or some of them. So we've got Rain de Glaciers or something like that, some French name that I can't pronounce. Flashy Butter Oak, Brighton. They're always tiny little seeds, these Brighton ones, seedlings, but they grow into a lovely heart in winter, and it's the only lettuce really in winter that I allow to heart up. Riccia, really red deer tongue, and Roxy, so they're all going to get pricked out today. And down here I've got my furthest on lamb's lettuce, and that is all ready to go out now, but I don't quite have space for it. I will have next week, so that's when that's going to go out. Second succession of miner's lettuce or Claytonia, and that's looking pretty good. That batch is going in the polytunnel. A few little bits of celery, looking okay. Back to that celery for a second, because that is celery for sort of mid-spring, and then I'll have another batch of celery that'll start next year for late spring, and then obviously my main crop celery, and I've got celery for overwinter as well, so we've got lots of different successions of celery to keep the quality high. On my little grow bench I've got parsley, which is going in the polytunnel, and lamb's lettuce. This is the next succession, and there's got some more lamb's lettuce there and some more lamb's lettuce there, so a lot of lamb's lettuce. White Lisbon salad onions and some more Guardsman salad onions there. And then here I've got my Tough Ball overwintering onions. So they're a Japanese onion that'll bulb up sort of June, July time. The miner's lettuce that's going to get planted out outside, and again that probably could go out now, but again I just don't quite have anywhere to put it, which is a kind of running theme here. And I've got salad rocket down there and wild rocket, and of course I've got loads of spinach in the ground already interplanted with salad onions, and lettuce in the ground interplanted with salad onions, and of course loads of Asian greens and things like that all in the ground. So we've got a lot going on. Is an example of the salad rocket that I've just got planted out last week. It's coming on quite nicely. A few little holes, so there must be maybe a little bit of flea beetle or something around still, but not very much. And then inside, doesn't need to be inside, but it just happens to be inside, I've got some giant winter spinach and another tray of giant winter spinach, and I've got one more succession of spinach to sow, which will be much later on, sort of 27th of September or thereabouts. And some more lettuce down there, and that's Grenoble Red. Up here, ready to be planted out next week, I've got two successions of spring cabbages. I've already got some spring cabbages in this bed here. Some of them have suffered a little bit, I don't know why. And some really nice looking collards that are interplanted there with Kaylan. Sowed some seeds this morning, and so I sowed some more Grenoble Red because the germination was a little bit patchy in the tray that I just showed you. Some Orkney cauliflower, some more Brighton lettuce, and a bit of Valdor lettuce just as a test. I'm not sure whether that'll even germinate because it's a bit old seed, but we'll give it a go. And my friend Jerry from Grow Seed, he said you can sow red cabbage, red drumhead now for a harvest in kind of May, June time. Well, we really love red cabbage, And we've got some really nice stuff growing in the garden at the moment. I'll just show you one of the samples. And yeah, so I'm going to give that a go. And as a result, I just sowed these extra ones just because I always like to have a few spares. So if you want to give that a go, have a look at Jerry's site. It's really good. So I did most of my seed like this now, pricking out rather than direct sowing into the module trays. I do a few like that, spinach. I do, for example, like that, radishes and turnips and stuff. But most things I just like to prick out. I just find that you get these leggy stems nicely buried, and the plants just seem to come out healthier when they're pricked out. So I'm using my new container-wise trays, which cost me a fortune, but hopefully they'll be worth the investment. Lots of people encourage me to upgrade from my Wilco trays, so I'm excited to see how well they do. And I chose the 40 cell tray, and that is because although I normally like to plant out seedlings at 3 weeks old, sometimes my planning just isn't spot on. Like, for example, the turnips are just running a little bit behind, and so sometimes I just need to leave things in the trays for another week, maybe even 2 weeks at the extreme. And I just find these 40 cell trays, they've just got a little bit more compost in them, just a little bit bigger, so you can just get that kind of flexibility, and I like that flexibility. You know, I'm very keen on flexibility in gardening, although a lot of people say that my planning is really good. It isn't really as good as it might seem. So yeah, flexibility is important to me, and this is one element of it. And I also like to prick out with this little bradawl. Now, a lot of people use like a specialist tool for this job. I find a bradawl is just really nice. It's really nice to hold, and of course it's just here in the workshop with all my other little odds and sods tools. So yeah, I really like it, and I've literally never lost a seedling as a result of this kind of sharp metal and all that sort of thing. So seedlings are tough. So that's my first tray done. So there's my next tray. Most of them are tatsoi, which I like in salads in winter and spring. And this is just a mix of different types of Asian greens. So some of these will probably end up going in one of my low tunnels or cold frames, and some of them will definitely end up going in the polytunnel. Now I'm onto the lettuce, and these will be planted out in all of these in the polytunnel in about 2.5 weeks time probably. So there we go. And I water now just with a fine mist from the hose pipe, and that seems to do the trick. So quite a nice selection. I'll probably go through, I'll put up the details actually at the side of the screen so you can see all the different varieties. And if you go to the reference information section of my ebook and look up September or August, then you'll find all the sowing records and the details of all the varieties and everything in there. And on the floor in the polytunnel, I've just got a few seeds that are left over basically from sowing so far, just my spares. More details about the way that I sow seeds and seedlings and prick out and all that sort of thing, then there's loads more videos and there's loads more information in my book. Just check out the basics section and the section on sowing. Like this quick seedling update, my name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.